Coach Tina here. So still talking about the World Summit for 2021. After Dean introduced the amazing story about his dad, he talked about the bridge and how we basically have been at point A and then we got to point B, but that point in between the two dips down and was our hard process that we had to go through. And when we are working with people, we basically build a bridge from A to B, and they don't have to go down into the valley and do the hard work to get out of the problem, because we have built a bridge that helps people to understand a different way than the only way they know how, which is through the problem, right? So after that, Charlene, the big fitness person who I guess has had more social media exposure than anybody else because she started so long ago with all of her programming. She came on and she talked to us quite a bit. She has a history of ADD, so she took a couple of squirrels in her approach, but she did a pretty good job. A great job, of course. But one of the things she talked about is your dot hot or not, and ways that you would know so that you're not just being the noise like everybody else out there, that you're actually speaking to your dot and helping them because you're who your dot is looking for and you're saying exactly what they need to hear. She said, if you're not saying what they need to hear, then they're not your dot. And I love that as being something that really made sense. So what else was put out? She said the dot is your starting point, but it's not your dot forever, but it's your dot for right now. And then part I'm going to leave you with that I thought was pretty important is she said the dot is not a splotch. Now, as soon as she said that, I immediately thought of melanoma. Okay, if you know anything about melanoma, you can't tell I have a lot of moles run all around my body. And early on in my life, I started seeing dermatologists because of them. And some of them were identified as precancerous. And then I hit 40 and there was a spot that I felt was suspicious. And I went to my doctor, excuse me, and he removed it. And he said, it's a little tiny thing. It was like a pencil dot. He said, it's not going to be a problem. Turned out it was melanoma. And so they removed that. And I now get to say that I've had cancer. Thank goodness that was more than 5 years ago. So mortality on that is pretty good after 5 years. But one of the things they say about melanoma is that the ones with undefined borders are the ones that indicate cancer. The ones with perfectly round, well-defined edges, that's not cancerous. And so when she talked about be a dot and not a splotch, don't be a cancer, right? Be a round, well-defined, borders matter kind of dot. And that's going to be the healthiest option for you. Trust your instinct and work with your dot until it doesn't work, and then you can switch to a different dot. But she said stay with one dot until you know that it's the one that it's working or not working for you. And that later you can refine that dot, you can add to that dot, but you got to start somewhere. So hope that's helpful. Can't wait to share more.